everybody, it's time to go over Leprechaun 2, which came out in 1994, 1 year after the original, and according to Rotten Tomatoes has a 0%, and you will find out why. This one ignores all prior events and creates a new backstory and lore to the character of the Leprechaun and gives him all new powers. This was also the last Leprechaun movie to hit theaters, and let's find out why this cursed the rest of the franchise into a straight-to-DVD status in this week's Horror Franchise Wednesday.
Leprechaun 2.
Before we go over my positives and negatives, let's go over the synopsis real quick, shall we? About 1,000 years ago, the Leprechaun wanted a bride, but his slave prevented him, ran away, and then died. Flash forward another 1,000 years to the city of LA, we meet our dreadful cast, and it's St. Patrick's Day. The Lep comes out of a tree searching for a bride once again, and he wants young Bridget, who's for some reason Cody's girlfriend. The Leprechaun kidnaps her and teleports back to his lair, and thanks to a hobo earlier, Cody knows where. He heads to the tree and enters the hole, ready to trade Bridget for the Leprechaun's gold that he stole. They try to escape, but the lair is a maze. The Leprechaun's trapping them there with his magical ways, so they fight back and attack, and then Cody is dead. Or so the Leprechaun thinks as he's turning his head. But unfortunately he's not. He gets back up on his feet, holding a bar made of iron for the Leprechaun's defeat. Cody stabs him in the chest and then the Leprechaun explodes. Then they live happily ever after, or so the story goes. I hope they fucking died. You could look up the story for this movie on Wikipedia and it'd be 3 sentences long. This movie has no story. It fucking sucks. Let me go over all my negatives because this is going to take like 30 minutes to get through. First up, this movie has no continuity. I am a continuity freak. I love continuity, so I love the Friday franchise, Friday the 13th, if you don't know what I'm talking about, and Rocky. This movie has no continuity. It's just like, fuck it, let's just cash it on the name. The first one did good, I guess, so they're like, let's make another one. Who did they hire? Who did they hire? This should have been called Bride of Leprechaun. I mean, this whole movie is about him wanting a bride for some fucking reason, and he has to get married on his 1,000th birthday, or else it's just not going to work. Like, on this precise day. Makes no sense. And he has new powers, and he doesn't have this weakness anymore. Oh, I'm weak to iron, not the 4-leaf clovers. At the beginning of this movie, it doesn't tell you what year it is, but you can assume it's the fucking Dark Ages way long ago, and he's 1,000 years old, even though in Leprechaun 1, everything's being ignored. In Leprechaun 1, he said he was 600. But yeah, now at the beginning of this movie, he just has like a slave, and he has like this collar, and he can do Darth Vader powers and like hold you in the air, and like choke you, weird shit, break your neck. And I don't get how he was prevented from getting married to this woman at the beginning. And I didn't even realize that was the same actress who plays the terrible Bridget throughout the rest of the film. But he sees this woman, he's like, that's my bride, I want her. And his slave's like, no, that's my daughter. And then the slave just starts running away. And then his leprechaun kills him. And he's like, oh, you fucker, now I have to wait another 1,000 years. Why? And then they add this weird rule where it's like the leprechaun says like 2-3 times in this movie, like, if she sneezes 3 times, she's mine. But he's forcing her to sneeze. He keeps blowing, and then she'll sneeze. It's like, well, you're forcing her to sneeze, so that's not fair. It was just something stupid, and they never sneeze 3 times. If they did, they never get married to him, so it's just, why is that in this script at all? Speaking of script, the dialogue is horrendous, and it makes it even more horrible when you have shitty people reading it out loud. These actors are god awful. The dialogue is just eating up time in this movie. It's just there. Like, when we first meet our cast, the main 2 people, this boyfriend and girlfriend, at first it's kind of like, are they boyfriend and girlfriend? They have a weird relationship, and I'll get into it. But as soon as we meet them, they're shitheads right up front. Cody is a scammer. That's what he does. He's in LA, and he scams tourists into these little tourists. I guess it's a tourist trap. Tourist trap. I just reviewed that movie. But he just puts them on these little fake, cruises through LA, like, kind of like the Haunted Swamp tours and Hatchet. That was the only good thing that I could, point out as a positive. Like, oh, it kind of reminds me of Hatchet. That's it. But he's a scammer. I'm supposed to like this guy? That's impossible, alright? These people exist. They exist, alright? I went to New York for like 5 days. These people exist. They'll hand you shit. They will practically force shit into your hand and say, it's free, but you have to tip me. Me personally, knowing those assholes makes me hate this character, Cody. He's a fucking fuckhead. I hate him so much. Worst actor ever, and he gets a run for his money from Bridget. She's worse than him. She's that type of girl who's just I don't know if this is her character or her acting, but she's just forcibly laughing, always smiling until the leprechaun shows up. But she is so fucking annoying, I just want to hit her in the face with my bumper. But back to the dialogue, it's just, like I said, it's just there. And like, when we first meet these people, this boyfriend and girlfriend, he's like, I gotta do this scam bullshit to pay for my sister's eye operation. And then she's like, you don't have a sister. And he's like, oh, you know me so well. Oh, she knows you so well because she knows you don't have a sister. That's something girlfriends find out the first month they start dating you. Which makes me think, was he lying to her, hoping that she wouldn't know that? Or is that just his sense of humor, that he just thought it'd be so fucking hilarious if he lied about why he's working? It made no sense, and I can't like him because not only is he a scammer, but he's a fucking liar. And I just met this guy. I'm supposed to know his sense of humor? Was that a joke? I can't tell. And the budget is considerably a major downgrade. Like, as soon as it starts, you're like, oh my god, this looks worse. And then as soon as it goes to like current time, the way that it's being directed, it looks like the episode of The Office. And these scam tours are only $1? Really? Like the guy, Clint Howard, he just hands him $1 and that's it. No wonder you're never going to pay for that eye operation with $1. And like I said, I already said it, but I wrote it down here because it was enough to piss me off. It pissed me off so much, I wrote it down. Bridget, she keeps laughing. And she's just one of those people that laughs at her own jokes, like my mom. They'll just say something, they find themselves so funny that they'll just forcibly laugh after whatever they said. You know, it's like, ha ha ha, I'm so funny. You're not funny, Bridget. She is so goddamn terrible. If there was one thing that ruined my experience in this film, was Bridget. You take her out, it's a good movie. Just like bad good, but she's in here, I fucking hate it. What was her audition like? Was it like this?
It's over? It's really over?
No, but your acting career is. The score in this movie is god-awful. It is horrendous. It is like something that they just fucking made in a minute. It never complements the scene whenever the score kicks in. It's so fucking cheesy. Like, it is horror. I can't describe it. It is that bad. I can't put words together to describe it. It's horrible. Apparently, magic doesn't help you with hangovers. The leprechaun gets drunk and he has to go to the coffee shop so he can up the body count so he can kill some random horrible shitbag that runs a coffee shop who's just ridiculing the leprechaun for no fucking reason, just so the audience can be like, yeah, okay, you can kill him now because he's an asshole. But I guess hangovers or being drunk, I mean, just there's no cure to that. Not even magic. I mean, I did like that when he was drunk, the leprechaun, his powers were drunk too, like his telekinesis, when he's lifting up the ashtray, it's wobbly. That was kind of funny. They put the leprechaun in this safe, and, you know, the leprechaun, he has this power of teleporting, just like in the first one. It's such a stupid thing for writers to do, because then the audience is just constantly like, why isn't he just teleporting here, in this place, in this situation? Why isn't he abusing that power? But they have this, like, iron safe, you know, this safe that's going to trap the leprechaun in there because, you know, he's allergic to iron, I guess. But he goes through, like, the doggy door instead of just teleporting inside to attack Cody. So their plan works perfect because the leprechaun's stupid. But when he's in the safe, his hands, when they touch the wall, it, like, sparks and shit because he's not allowed to touch iron, but his feet are fine. His feet are touching the iron, are they not? And they establish in this movie that having his gold, he can't hurt you if you have his gold, which completely fucks with the first one. Like they ignored the first one. Ozzy swallowed his gold, so he should be fucking fine, right? Nope, he was hacking away at his stomach in the first one. But they establish this rule, and then they immediately kill Morty, who has all the gold in his stomach. Even though he's kind of wishing for the... it's stupid. It's really dumb. Morty, he's like, oh, we can get wishes now, so I wish for you to give him my gold back. But if he's in the iron safe, shouldn't his powers be very weak? If he's in this iron thing that's making him weak and hurting him, but he wishes for gold, he just says, I want your gold. And the leprechaun puts the gold in his stomach. Yeah, it's supposed to be funny and stupid, but that's not where he said to put it, so that's not fair. And gold is so heavy, if there was 100 shillings of gold in a giant pot in your stomach, it would just rip through immediately. It wouldn't just day in there. But yet now Morty's a dipshit, wastes all 3 wishes, 1 for the gold, 2 to let the leprechaun out, even though the leprechaun doesn't just let himself out through a wish. Morty physically gets him out of the fucking safe. So that's a wasted wish. And then the 3rd wish is for him to get the gold out of his stomach. Fuck you, Morty. Morty was the only decent character, decent actor in this film, and then at that point you're like, wow, they just ruined that character. The leprechaun's lair is underneath this tree for some reason in LA. Why LA? Why not Ireland? Wasn't the beginning of this movie in Ireland? Like, why is it LA and not Ireland? That would make more sense, but you know, whatever. They're stupid. And then the set looks awful. It's just like sand. Why? Why is there sand beneath the Earth's surface? There's just lots of sand for no reason, and you can just looking at the walls, you can tell it's a made set. It just looks terrible. The leprechaun, one of his added powers is that he can make you hallucinate, and there's a scene towards the end where he's making Cody hallucinate Bridget. He's like the leprechaun is pretending like he's Bridget, and it's so obvious. But then Cody, once he kisses Bridget, aka the leprechaun, he knows that it's the leprechaun because of her kiss. Really? I haven't even seen you kiss Bridget this whole movie. How long have you been dating? And it's not even established. Their relationship makes no fucking sense. Are they together? Are they not? I couldn't tell. He blows her off for work earlier so that he can afford that relationship, and then she, in return, goes out on a date with this other guy who I guess is just a friend. But she lets him walk her home, and then when he's like, I blew off work for you today. This other guy, not Cody. And then she's like, no, we're just friends. And then he's like, oh, you're a fucking tease. So then, they go their separate ways. And then he walks like 10 feet in that direction and then sees this garage that's attached, this big ass fucking like 3-car garage. And then he's having this hallucination of Bridget. Once again, she's like the only hallucination in this movie. I just realized that. The leprechaun only does Bridget as his like hallucination trick. He doesn't do anything else with that power. But my question is, why does this dumbass Ian think Bridget could possibly be in this person's garage when he just saw her walk into her house down the street? Like, it establishes that he went like all the way over here. Now he just thinks Bridget's over there flashing her tits, which is clearly a body double when you watch it, because they're not showing Bridget's face. I thought it was a lawnmower that he was sticking his face into. I mean, it's a funny scene. I like it. But it's not a lawnmower. There's no lawnmowers with blades like that, and it's not big enough to require 2 blades spinning. It's just because there's 2 tits, and there's really 2 blades spinning. You know what I mean if you've seen the movie. Spoiler. This is a spoiler discussion. But it's just like this giant fucking lawnmower mechanism that's just standing at like 5.5 feet in the air for some reason. So I'm guessing the leprechaun's doing this. That's probably the only scene that stands out in this whole movie. That's like the biggest positive of the whole film, is that there's this funny ass scene where Ian is hallucinating Bridget, flashing her body double tits, and then he sticks his face into what he thinks are boobs, but they're actually giant propellers from a lawnmower. But I shouldn't put logic into this film, but if you stuck your face in a lawnmower, you would have to forcibly shove your head all the way in to actually like kill you. But as soon as the initial cut hits your nose, wouldn't you initially just instinctively back up? But no, he just sticks his whole fucking head in and kills himself. But back to what I was saying earlier, when Cody kisses Bridget, aka the leprechaun, he goes, I knew it wasn't you, Bridget. It was the leprechaun because of the kiss. But then when the leprechaun reveals himself, like, haha, you really kissed me, and now I got my gold, he still looks shocked. Like, he has a look of shock on his face, like, what? No! But then later on was like, nah, I actually knew. I knew. Bullshit, Cody, you're a fucking liar again. And the leprechaun doesn't know that he gave him chocolate instead of gold? Get the fuck out of here. The leprechaun earlier in the movie, he dumps his whole pot of gold on Bridget's stomach, and automatically within like 3 seconds of just touching his gold, he doesn't have to count like he does in the first one. He just knows there's a missing shilling. He's like, there's missing gold here. And you don't know what your own gold looks like? That's clearly fucking chocolate in your hand. Stupid. Do you not know how much gold weighs compared to chocolate? Come on. And then there's a scene where, the leprechaun, he can't hurt you if you have his gold. Bullshit. He's constantly attacking Cody. Sure, he can't run his ass over in his little pimpmobile, like, go-kart thing, but he's still attacking him with skeletons and shit, and, like, trying to strangle him. So, breaking the rules in your own fucking movie that you just established. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then, where was I'm jumping all over the place here. But at the end of the movie, he with his telekinesis, throws Cody back because he's about to attack the Leprechaun with the iron bar, throws him back, he falls backwards, and then the next shot is him holding an iron bar that's impaled him, the one that he was holding. It's like, well, one, how is the Leprechaun falling for this? He didn't fall forward onto his iron bar. He fell backwards holding it in his hand. You can't just stab yourself. That makes no sense. And two, why did Bridget think, was she acting? Like, again, she's such a terrible actress. I can't possibly know what they're trying to convey. Does she actually think he got impaled by that? There's no blood. Is she stupid? Yeah, she's stupid. I answered my own question. But does she really think he was dead? Or was she just playing along? Because it makes no sense. How does she not realize that he wasn't really impaled?
He's dead? It's over? It's really over?
I wish it was over. But even though the Leprechaun just telepathically, just threw, with his telekinesis powers, just threw Cody back, Cody, after faking his death, just gets back up, tries it again to stab the Leprechaun. The Leprechaun sees him, has 2 whole seconds to use his powers again to throw him back again. Doesn't do it, just lets him stab him right in the chest. And then he's got these little static balls of electricity flying out of him like in the first one. And then Bridget is just like, he's about to blow. How the fuck could you know that? But that's what happens. He blows up. This movie's so terrible it doesn't even know when to end. Like, they go outside and they got the 1 gold coin, and then she's like, you're gonna keep it? And he's like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, coming from the guy who has to scam people for money and only charges them $1, has a sister's eye operation, which is bullshit, we know that. But you're like, what, 19, 20 years old, around my age? You don't need that gold coin? The Leprechaun's dead! What's gonna stop you? Just grab the coin. It's totally worth it. They just throw it away, and then the shot is just on the coin on the ground, and you think it's about to end on that shot, because that would make sense. But nope. We gotta extend this movie 5 more seconds to have this weird, long, far away shot of them, like, walking, and then they turn around towards each other, and they, like, go for a kiss, and then it ends. Why was that extra 5 seconds needed? It makes no sense. It could have just ended on the gold coin. This movie doesn't even know how to end. It's that terrible. But yes, above all, Bridget that's the worst fucking character ever. She is so goddamn terrible. Alright, my positives. There's little things that I liked about this movie. I like that, the only thing that has continuity is the look of the Leprechaun. He looks exactly the same. So kudos to that. We got a Clint Howard cameo in this movie, so there's that. I already said it before, the Scam Tour reminded me of the Haunted Swamp Tour and Hatchet, one of my favorite B slashers of the modern day. That came out, 2006? One of my favorite modern day slashers. The Leprechaun rhymes more. He rhymes a hell of a lot more in this one. He doesn't rhyme that much in the first one. So I like that, and I like that his satchel of gold is now an actual pot of gold. Makes more sense, goes along with the lore, and I like that, the actual Leprechaun lore. This movie actually takes place on St. Patrick's Day, and that makes sense. This is the only one I've read, so I don't know why they're not all taking place on St. Patrick's Day, just this one. And since he has all his gold throughout this whole movie, except for 1 shilling, he has a lot more power, so he's doing all kinds of shit, like, he's also just having fun collecting people's gold. Like, he gets this gold tooth off of a hobo, and then he gets a gold ring off of this guy's finger. But one thing I want to point out is that he had a hard time struggling to get this gold tooth, and then easily rips this guy's finger off like that. Morty as a character, like I said, he's the only character that will make you laugh that's even acted decently. He's just kind of like over the top. He's the guy who runs the scam thing, but since he's more interesting, I can forgive his shittiness, even though he fucks up his character towards the end with his dumb wishes. Complete retard. But he does one thing that actually made me crack up. He orders pizza and he's just sitting at the door. And Cody walks by, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, shh. He's looking at his watch and his watch beeps. He opens the door and the pizza guy's been waiting out there. And he goes, 31 minutes, it's free. Slams the door in the pizza guy's face, collects the pizza for free, because that's what Domino's was known for, 30 minutes or less, or it's free. That cracked me up because the pizza guy just sat there and took it and had the dumbest fucking look on his face. He was dumbfounded. This is the first Leprechaun with nudity in it. I know there's nudity in the third one. I just saw that one. Go review that next week. But this one has nudity, but it's a body double, so it's not really Bridget. Bridget doesn't show her tits. But the body double looked pretty nice. We get another cameo from the one midget elf from the Bad Santa movies with, Scott, I forget his name, whatever. But you know what I mean. There's the espresso shop deaf, the coffee shop owner. He gets the steam in his face and the practical effects of his face boiling and getting like all bubbly and stuff. Thought that was nice. And then he pimps out another car. He got that goat cart and it has like a shamrock with like a circle and slash on it, which I have to say makes no sense because that's no longer his weakness. It should have a picture of iron, some sort of iron bar or something, and then a slash through it, because 4-leaf clovers are not his weakness no more. So I thought that was weird that they had a slash through a 4-leaf clover, but I like that he spray painted I want me gold on it. Just little things like that, you know, because the Leprechaun did that. You know, with his little powers, he quickly made a go-kart with that, like, just spikes hanging out of it, just having a blast. You know, you could tell Warwick Davis, he's still having fun with this role. He's still the funnest part of these movies to me. And even though the death makes no sense why he would blow up, it at least looked like it was really Warwick Davis blowing up. You know, you got this life cast of Warwick Davis and it blows up and it actually looks like a human body blowing up. There wasn't green blood. I thought that was weird because in the third one, he has green blood, and I think he has green blood in the first one too. So, and that's really it. There's nothing that can save this movie. The way it looks so poor, low budget. The acting is goddamn terrible. Bridget is the worst person in any film I've ever fucking seen. Her acting, her deep voice, I forgot to mention that. She's one of those chicks that, like, whenever she says certain things, like, she gets this weird deep voice. I can't explain it, but it's fucking annoying. She's the worst thing in this movie. I want to fucking smash my TV every time she's talking.
Don't hurt him. I'll go with you.
So because of her alone, I gotta say, when it comes to Leprechaun 2, there's one thing I'd rather do, and that's to blow my fucking brains out. The Mr. Hat Award for Best Kills definitely gonna go to Ian, who sticks his face in the propeller blades of the lawnmower, or whatever gadget the Leprechaun's using here, thinking that he's sticking his face in a body double's breast. And the worst kill is gonna go to the cop who gets ran over by the goat cart. We don't really get to see his death, and that's why it's on here. And the Clapper Award for Best Scene in this movie is definitely gonna go to the body double. I like those boobs. That's the only thing that saves this movie. Except it doesn't save it, because I'd still rather blow my brains out than watch this. And the hottest chick! Once again, the award's gonna go to the body double! Not Bridget! Fuck you, Bridget! And those are my thoughts on Leprechaun 2. What did you think about this movie? Have you seen it yet? Have you had the misfortune of watching it? Don't ever watch it if you haven't. Just watch this review and you'll be way more entertained. And if you were entertained, hit this like button to show me how much you liked it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so just by clicking my cartoon face in about 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.